This was captured by a man who thinks that he might have had an encounter with a real ghost. Apparently, he saw the kid on the streets, but there was no impact, nor did he glance him. And he couldn't see the slightest trace of the boy when turning around. So, how do we explain this? The following has been shared by Anya Rose, and she tells us that her kid had taken an extremely spooky capture this day after finding a little camera in their home.
And they found a little camera, little, like this big, that was given to her for Christmas a couple years ago. Not by us, by like a family member. And she got it when she was like 5. So, and I'm scrolling through and there's like cute selfies, like them playing outside and picture of the dog. And then there's that photo.
The picture.
Yesterday, so I'm scrolling, and I'm like, what is that? What is that? Like, what is that? That's right here. Excuse how like messy that is, but what is that?
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
Could it be a shadow being that manifested that day and was just visible by chance? Or was it simply overexposure or something similar to that? Germaine has shared the following incident, and she states that a few years ago she had captured a terrifying video. It was late at night and she heard something unnerving from the outside. And this is where the recording started.
I just woke up. I heard someone screaming outside my window. Oh my God. What? There's a guy out there and he's just staring out my window. What is he doing? What the hell? Is he staring at me?
A strange person was standing in front of her home, and she believes that the figure was staring at her house for reasons unknown. She believes that whatever it was might have entered her house and started throwing objects around.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What the? Oh my God, I think there was something in my room. I don't know.
As she decides to escape this nightmare, an eerie silhouette can be seen from inside her home, which means that something otherworldly must have gathered entry to the home. How unsettling. 2 days later, she decides to return back to her place. Why she would do that in the evening, though, is unclear. Something seems to have ransacked through the home and opened every cupboard. And then there is a person standing in her window again. Some believe that this might have been a creepy stalker or a squatter, whilst others still find it could be something paranormal. Your opinion? Lady V is a young nurse that is sharing some interesting recordings from the hospital she's working at. There's a certain floor where a lot of strange things have occurred, which is based on many patients' encounters.
Did you hear her?
Yes.
You hear her?
Jeg sliep hem zo lekker, we wakte hem op. We wakte hem up.
A faint and creepy humming noise can be heard, and the staff thinks that it could be stemming from a spirit of a girl. One of her co-workers had captured the same noise just a few nights after.
She probably thinks I'm her mom. That was you.
No, I swear to God. Was that something?
The interesting part is that nobody was staying in the patients' rooms at the time, which makes it more plausible for this to be a ghost. Wouldn't you agree? The next video was sent by Eric, and he tells me that it was noticed by a couple of security guards that were working and surveilling an old museum located on Piazza Square in Georgia. There seemed to be something really odd appearing out of thin air. As we see, this floating shape suddenly comes around the corner, throws a shadow, and is then disappearing towards the lower part of the camera. Some people speculate that this merely might have been a bug, but how is it possible that we can follow its shadow on the floor? Quite strange. It's like this shape is floating quite fast, leaning into the curve a little before it disappears. I have no idea what's going on, to be honest. But do believe that it is more than just a weird bug. Your thoughts? The next clip we will take a look at was captured by another dog owner, TikTok user Schnodderly. The story goes that she simply was recording herself for a TikTok video and snacking when she noticed a weird shadow outside the door that was peeking into her room, looking at her. So of course, she thought it was her little dog, but it turns out that he was actually outside the whole time this unfolded. Let's see.
Lego? Lego. Come here.
Some of her viewers pointed out that it looks like a demon with black eyes, or something otherworldly that cannot really be described. Schnodderly said that only when she brightened up the footage could she see these creepy facial features. Spooky, isn't it?
Lego? Lego. Come here.
This video was shared by Bregman, and it's a pretty interesting case. He tells us that he had received an email from a person called Yara, who is experiencing some quite baffling activity in the home of her family. They often gather on the weekends, and it was this particular night that Yara's uncle noticed something strange just a few meters away at the horses' little stable, and the horses seemed quite afraid.
Ahí está, mira. Ahí hay algo. Wait.
It seems that something of small stature is standing close to the horses. The family states that they have never seen this thing before and had no good explanation of where it could have come from. I find that it has quite the strange silhouette, and I have no good explanation either. But it certainly was frightening the horses. Was this an otherworldly encounter perhaps? What is your idea? This is an older home video that was shared by a family, which shows a mother and her two kids. And while it's not the best of quality, what's really eerie about it is an object that was popping up behind the glass door in the background. A creepy looking face is coming into the frame, staring at the camera for a few seconds before the camera then zooms in. The family thinks that this was probably an evil spirit, and they had nightmares many weeks after this incident. They never found out what exactly happened that night though. What do you believe? This was captured by a man who states that he as well was just on his way home at the night of this recording. It was a late night in August, and by mere coincidence, something was captured on his dashcam that made him feel quite uneasy. He states that at the time it looked like a transparent lady in a white dress that didn't really have a face. And she was just standing there without doing anything, which is why many say that he probably became witness to a paranormal encounter here that night. Does this sound plausible? Or was it perhaps a living person? The following video was posted by Riemann8. The user states, "Something set off the security alarm on one of our properties 2 nights ago. This is the footage we found after nothing was stolen. People believe whatever was captured could have been a spirit from a different dimension. Let's take a look." A shadow person seems to be walking through different rooms of the house and moving things around before it triggers the alarm and disappears into thin air. And as mentioned before, no signs of an intruder were found after. Strange, isn't it? The uploader swears that nobody was home at the time. I believe him. What could we be looking at here in your opinion? Pretty mysterious. This video was sent in by Antonio, and it features a security guard who's documenting a really strange event that is taking place in front of the hotel. He states that he's working at that place for many years already, and that he never came across anything like it. Let's take a look.
No se ve nada. No se ve nada. Loco, yo voy ahora. Es algo muy fuerte, nunca
Intriguing.
pasó.
What could have happened that night?
Asustado pero posta. Hay una mujer al lado del portero eléctrico. Son las 2:30 de la mañana.
As the man lets us know, there appears to be an ominous lady standing right next to the entrance sign, and she doesn't appear to be moving once. A lady in a blue dress, with dark hair. Mysterious, isn't it? Could it be a prank? Maybe just a hoax?
Esa imagen nunca apareció. Nunca. Estoy todos los días cada 12 horas.
Then, one last look to confirm that in fact nobody is standing there. What is it in your opinion? Is it a paranormal event that transpired in front of this man's workplace? It's definitely a really eerie thought, coming across a lady that can creep you out like that in the midst of night. The following video was found on the profile of Light6, and unfortunately, we're not given much info about the clip. The only details that were shared in the comment section were that these friends were on a house tour of some sorts. They were checking out a relatively old house with tons of backstory concerning paranormal events. One of the females was an empath and apparently saw something in one of the dark rooms. Interestingly enough, the camera also was able to pick something up that many described as pretty unsettling. Let's take a look.
Gust of wind that blew through the building and the door slammed shut.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
Oh my God.
What, Emily?
Help.
You alright?
What's wrong?
There seems to be something pretty grim appearing in the mirror in the dark room in the back. Can you see it too? Some are certain This was indeed the spirit of a woman, but how do we explain that? Many believe this to be one of the spirits that was caught by accident that night and that is roaming the premises. And as quick as it appears, it disappears again. Undoubtedly, this appears to be the shape of a woman, but why all of this is unfolding can only be speculated. Is it all just a creepy setup, or was something more sinister unfolding in front of the camera here? Who knows? The video we are going to look at was recorded by Kamiyara Orange, and she was frankly terrified after realizing what she might have captured in her room one night. She states that she was recording herself dancing in front of her closet in her family's home. The house is a bit older, but nothing out of the ordinary had been captured in the past there. So the following event was quite unique for her. Let's take a look at what she has captured that night. For whatever reason, there is a creepy looking figure of a woman standing in front of the clothes in the closet and staring at the camera, moving up and down. Whatever this person, or apparition for that matter, is, we don't know what it was doing there. And if it isn't just a hoax, could it be a deceased family member? Maybe a former owner? Or something completely different? Very mysterious. The following video was captured by two friends as they were driving through an area close to the Aokigahara forest, which is still frequently visited by those who choose this forest to go on their very last journey, if you know what I mean. And it's to nobody's surprise that people say to see ghosts and other paranormal sightings there on the regular. However, the two friends didn't notice anything in particular at the time. Nothing but a blurry object that seemed to hover close to their car. It would appear that their dashcam captured an eerie pair of legs floating in the sky, slowly but surely closing in on their car, and as mentioned, they didn't see these legs in much detail. They thought to have seen a mass, which is why they checked the recording, but it's pretty clear that this might be something otherworldly. What do you think? Was this one of the many spirits which is still visiting this haunted forest? Now we are taking a look at some CCTV footage, which stems from an old sewer tunnel system located somewhere in Europe. The story goes that a lot of sketchy stuff was going on in these systems back in the day, and that to this day, workers still see the eerie outlines of spirits down there. Apparently, the following footage is showing us one of these instances. woman seems to appear at the end of the sewer tunnels, but also the light flickers just moments before she appears on camera. That's quite strange. And as mysteriously as she appears, she vanishes. Only moments after that, there is a dark shadow that is making it towards the end of the tunnel as well. Which is pretty inexplicable to many. What do you think happened here? I couldn't say, to be honest. Jacob had recently got a hold of a supposedly haunted jester clown doll. How? It is said that he inherited the old house of his late grandmother, and the doll came with it. Interested in occult objects, he kept it in his bedroom at night. Crazy, I know. And not long after, he felt that something was extremely wrong with the doll, which caused him to store it in a different room. This particular night, he woke up to some really terrifying noises from outside of his room, and he started recording.
I just heard banging.
Jacob ends the video abruptly and states that he spent the night locked in his room. He wasn't willing to spend another terrifying night like that and decided that it probably would be best to keep this doll, which he calls Jeffrey, in the basement from now on.
With whatever happened last night, I don't want him near me. And in general, I think I'm just scared. I'm gonna be putting him in the basement, so I'm gonna follow up after I get that done. Alright guys, this is the results so far. I'm gonna leave him here for now, but I think I'm gonna put a camera here. Jeffrey's still here, so we're gonna see if there's anything I miss.
From that night on, Jacob caught several really strange encounters down there in the basement. Weird shadow movement, for which he had no explanation for. Eventually, he decided that it would be smart to have a rotating camera stand to cover more angles of the basement and to make sure that he wouldn't miss any more creepy encounters taking place down there. Something moved the doll's arm, and then we hear the light bulb pop for inexplicable reasons. Jacob is sure that this is due to the possession of his doll, and that the creepy activity will continue. I can't wait to see what happens next. The following encounter had been shared by a security guard who was patrolling an old mall complex at the time and recording his thoughts about the many ghost stories that locals tell about this area of town, and it didn't take long until his stroll turned into a pretty eerie night of strangeness.
Get that effect. Guys, is it coming to burn or not? Guys, it smells burn. It smells burn. I don't know if... Don't tell me. They say the legend that there are children who play till the afternoon on the web. Yes. At the Garden Casino that is under a fire and people died. Nothing... What is that?
It starts to move by itself.
Out of the way, Ron.
Is it a god or is it a cat? Is it a goblin? What does that tell me, Duty?
We already smelled sulfur and burnt smell for that.
Take off the fence, man. What the heck is that? Today I approach and she think I'm going to record something. What the heck is that? It's here walking, dude. It's here walking. It's here walking. Are you messing with me? Who the hell is messing with me? That's why, honestly, I don't normally like people. And these shitty stuffed toys too. What happened? Guys, the phone turned off.
Thank you for...
A small creature was caught at the end of one of the hallways, and then, just before the recording ended, you could also capture a strange-looking face. Makes him believe that something paranormal happened here that night. Is this possible? Now we're taking a look at an update from JB, aka Dino Nuggets, who had moved a third time after some pretty intense poltergeist activity, and even shadow figures started terrorizing him and his whole family. Shortly after moving into their new house, things started to happen again.
As I told all of you, I would start recording just like I normally would, and stuff happens, so hearing some noises, maybe a quick walkthrough of the house so no one thinks there's someone behind me. Laundry room. Nowhere to hide in here. Well, look at the rest. I know you can hear that. Cat just took off. He's trying to get out. Studio.
He walked through the whole house and was looking everywhere for the origin of those noises, but couldn't find anything. Then on one of the following nights, the following unfolded. He opens every window to let some fresh air in, and still can't shake the feeling that something is really wrong in this house. He keeps walking through the rooms and documenting.
No, I ate hot pot. Like, all of them were on. Call him and say what? Third time in 2 months? No, it's smoky. I'm recording this time.
And unbeknownst to JB, there seemed something standing in the dining area that a viewer of his noticed. Did the spirits follow him for a third time? Who knows? This is a video shared by Raul Ramirez. It was captured by a staff member of a restaurant who was the last person remaining in the kitchen that night to finish some cleaning. Raul states that several employees swear to have seen shadows in there that just stand in the corner for a moment and then are mysteriously gone. The man recording, though, had seen something in the corner of his eyes, which is why he started the video initially. Could he capture a shadow person here? He certainly thinks so. Or is this just something else that was placed in the corner there? It certainly wasn't there before though, so what do you think?